Hello everybody and welcome to the Little Rock Zoo's Wild Wonders Show. My name is Hannah, and before we get started, we're actually going to play a joke on my friend Leanne. Because for some reason, I've got an animal in this box that she is obsessed with, and I think it's gross. But she also thinks she's a magician, and that this is a magic show, so she's going to come out here and try to make it disappear. But I'm going to mess up the trick and hide it if you guys promise you won't say anything. This is the animal she likes. I don't know why she likes it so much, but I'm going to stick it right over here. Oh, here she comes.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Little Rock Zoo's Magic of Animals show. My name is Leanne the Magnificent, and I'm going to be your magician today. Now for my first trick, I'm going to make one of my all-time favorite animals disappear from this magic trunk right here. But before I do that, I want to introduce you to her. Let me grab her out really quick. Oh no, she's not in there. Has anyone seen my opossum? She's about this big, gray fur, drools a little bit. Izzy! Izzy, where are you?
Leanne, nobody's seen your possum. I don't know why you're so in love with that ugly animal.
First off, she is adorable, and second, she's my special magical opossum.
I don't see how she's special or magic. She's probably walking around smelling something, but nobody has any idea, right?
Let me tell you about all these magical characteristics possums have. First, they have a pouch on their belly that babies can ride in. And their toes. They've got an opposable digit on all 4 of their feet, where we humans only have 2, and their tails. Don't get me started on their tails, they're prehensile. That means she can grab things with it. She can walk around with my wand if I let her.
She doesn't want your wand, and these guys are found all over Arkansas. You've probably seen them in your backyard. They're all over the United States, so why is your one possum special?
Well, she can disappear.
Obviously, she is the magnificent one because she's been right here the whole time and you didn't even see her.
Well, put her back in her trunk and I'll show all of you I can make her disappear.
Does anybody think she can make this possum disappear?
No. See, look, I've got somebody who thinks I can do it.
I don't think she can, but we'll see.
Alright, but just so you guys know that I'm not playing any tricks on you, you can see there's no trapdoors on this trunk, so she can only get out by my magical ability. But we all know the most important part to any magic trick is the magic word, but I can never seem to remember what it is. Do you guys know any magic words? Abracadabra sounds about right. But you know, it takes a lot of magic to make an opossum disappear. So I think we should all say it together. So on the count of 3, let's practice. 1, 2, 3, abracadabra. I know it's a little early, guys, but I know you can be louder than that, so let's practice one more time, alright? 1, 2, 3, abracadabra. Alright, I think we're ready to do it for real this time, so just like we practiced, alright? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, abracadabra. Wow, she's gone. That's never actually worked before. Oh, I'm going to be in so much trouble if I lost that opossum again. Well, the best part to any disappearing act is the reappearing part, right? But I'm obviously not any good. Does someone want to come up here and make her reappear? You want to come up? Alright guys, we're going to still help her. We're going to all say the magic words. I'm going to give you this. On the count of 3, we're going to say the magic words, alright? 1, 2, 3, abracadabra! Oh shoot, she came back. I was a little bit worried I'd lost her there. Let's give Kristen a big hand and we'll give her a reward for helping me out here.
I'm really sorry to break it to you guys, because you did a really good job, but that didn't actually work because while you were up here talking, I ran up and stole your possum.
Well, if that's my possum, then who is this?
Well, I have no idea who that is, but everybody, this is Izzy, and she's our Virginia opossum. But enough about magic, you guys are out here to learn about animals, right?
Well, we're going to go back and practice then.
Alright, you might take Izzy with you. I think she wants to go back
yeah,
too. Alright, well Izzy might look a little bit scary, but those guys are actually really good to have around because they'll get rid of a lot of things that you don't want in your yard. Those guys will eat rotting fruit, they eat cockroaches, and they even eat dead things. And on top of that, a lot of people don't realize that they're the least likely animal to carry rabies because they have a very low body temperature. And they're nocturnal, which means they come out at night, so we humans have very few run-ins with them. Now, if you're still not convinced that Izzy wasn't so bad, you'll be happy to know that she's a lot more afraid of you than you are of her. Just raise your hand if you know what these guys do when they get scared. What is it? That's right, they play dead. She can flip over on her back, lock up all her muscles, even drool, make herself stink, so that whatever's bothering her will just go away. Everybody, even though she left early, let's give a hand to Izzy, our Virginia opossum. That was her first time. Alright, now the next animal she has the right to be afraid of because it is a fierce and powerful predator. So I don't want anyone to get too scared when he comes out because he has huge sharp talons and a hooked beak. He strikes fear into the heart of everything that sees him. So everybody, what is that?
Well, this is Wiley, our screech owl.
That's embarrassing. That's the size of a Coke can.
Well, Wiley here is actually very scary. He's what we like to call a bird of prey, which means he hunts and eats meat. Now, birds of prey have 3 magical characteristics about them. First, you'll notice his long hooked beak, which is perfect for ripping meat off the bone. Second, you'll notice he's got long, sharp talons, which is perfect for grabbing his prey. And finally, you'll notice he has forward-facing eyes, just like you and I do, which allows him to scan a larger area for something to eat. But you know, they're not just great hunters, they're also very smart. They've been known to bring blind snakes into their nest, which helps keep down the insect population. Now I know you've all been dying to see another magic trick, so what we're going to do with Wiley here is grow him to be the largest owl fawn in Arkansas. So on the count of 3, we're all going to say the magic word again, alright? 1, 2...
Hold it, that's never going to work.
What if you let me finish?
No, it wouldn't. Everybody, this is the largest type of owl that we have in Arkansas. But these are obviously 2 totally different kind of owls. This is Lincoln, our great horned owl. Now, speaking of large, do you guys notice anything big on his face? What's your guess? Do you have a guess? What is it? That's right. He's got really big eyes. His eyes are so big that if we humans had eyes of the size of an owl's, we would look really funny because they would be as big as softballs, which means our eyes would be this big. Now, when you have eyes that are that large, there's not very much room inside of his eye socket for muscles to help him move his eyes to look around. So now everyone knows what he can do instead of just move his eyes, so shout it out. What can he do with his head? He can rotate his head 270 degrees, which is almost 3/4 the way around. He can do that not because he is magical, but he actually has 14 bones inside of his neck, where we humans and even the tallest giraffe have only 7. Now take a look at these little feather tufts on top of his head that look a lot like ears. Those actually have nothing to do with hearing. Those are used in courtship and territorial displays, and they actually lie completely flat while he's in flight. Now these guys are also what we like to call the big bullies of the bird world, because when it comes time to raise his young, Lincoln actually won't build a nest. What he'll do is he'll find another mom and dad bird who have been working really, really hard on their nest. He sneaks up, picks those birds out, and then he steals it to use for himself. On top of that, he will eat other birds, even other owls. But I want you guys to try to guess what a great horned owl's favorite food is. Mice and rats? It's a really good guess. And his favorite food is skunk. A stinky, smelly skunk. His eyes are so good that he doesn't need a very strong sense of smell. So the smell of skunk doesn't bother Lincoln like it would bother us. And speaking of skunks, I have this really funny joke I've been working on, but you guys wouldn't want to hear it because it really stinks. So how about a hand for Lincoln, our great horned owl? Who are you and what are you doing?
Well, I work here. I have been for months.
Well, I've never seen you new guys, so don't mess anything up.
Well, anyways, everybody, this is Molly on the Luckin Cockatoo.
Oh, good. My lovely assistant is already out here, and you guys, I've talked about your attire during this trick. Now, I have been working with Molly for months to teach her how to do a magic card trick. So what Molly's going to do is she's going to pick a card, put it back, and I'm going to use my magical abilities to guess which card is hers.
Leanne, birds can't do magic. The only magic she knows is how to be really loud.
No, I promise she can do it. Molly, pick a card, put it back, pick a card. Oh, she's just nervous. This is her first time. Molly, pick a card. Pick one. You know what? That Hannah put you up to this. How many peanuts did she offer you to mess this up? You're not talking, huh? Why don't you go talk to Hannah? Hannah, why did you tell Molly to mess up my trick?
I didn't. It was that new guy.
I know it was you.
Well, Molly may not be good at magic tricks, but she does have some magical characteristics that make her a pretty cool pet to have around the house. Like I said earlier, she's very loud, and she can out-volume most birds. In addition to that, these guys are highly intelligent animals, and they can become very destructive if you don't give them enough attention. And along with this, most people don't realize that Molly here can live into her 80s, making her a lifelong commitment. So it's very important that we will leave Molly and her cousins in the wild in the native country of Indonesia. Everybody, this is Molly. Can we get a hand for Molly?
Leanne, what are you out there doing now?
Well, you've messed up all my other tricks, and I want them to see that
That's
I can
because
actually
this
do
is not a
magic.
magic show.
No,
Okay,
but I
you
can
know
do
what?
magic.
I have been practicing my own tricks, so I'm going to see if I'm better at magic than she is. I'm going to try to read everybody's minds, so I need you guys to help me out. Think of an animal that you're really afraid of, and don't tell me what it is, so I'm going to read your mind. Alright, getting spiders somewhere over there. Getting fish. No, that's just me. Alright, raise your hand if you're scared of snakes. I'm going to try to change your mind by showing you some really cool stuff about snakes. Everyone, this is Casper, our corn snake.
And Ruby, our Sinaloa milk snake. Now, did you guys know that snakes like Casper and Ruby here, they're actually magicians just like me. They can magically swallow food that's 4 times the size of their head.
That's not magic. Snakes have the ability to unhook their jaws and swing their mouths wide open, which allows them to swallow food that looks way too big for them to eat. Another cool thing you'll notice while Casper gets close is that he has a forked tongue, which is split at the end so that he can sense which direction the smell is coming from.
Well, I still think these guys are pretty scary. I mean, in Arkansas alone, there are 6 species of poisonous snake. Ruby here is one of them.
She is not poisonous. Those guys are mimicking the poisonous snake to make them scare away predators. And calling a snake poisonous is actually wrong, you guys, because snakes are venomous. A venom has to be injected, like from a bite, and a poison has to be eaten or swallowed. Now there are 6 species of venomous snake in Arkansas, but that's out of 37 total snake species. And of those, some non-venomous snakes, like a king snake, will actually kill and eat venomous snakes for you.
Well, if these guys aren't magic, would you please explain how they're able to move without any legs?
That's easy. It's because pound for pound, all snakes have more muscle than any other animal, which makes sense because both those guys can literally muscle their way around on the ground or even up a tree. Everybody, those are our snakes, Ruby and Casper. Alright, now those were some pretty cool facts, so I hope maybe the next time you see a snake you won't be quite so afraid. But the best thing to do if you ever see any snake in the wild is leave it alone because you never know if it can hurt you or not. And a lot of people don't realize, but in Arkansas it's actually illegal to kill snakes. So again, the best thing to do is let them go about their business. Now speaking of laws, our next animal is a raptor or a bird of prey, which means owning just one feather from this bird is a several $1,000 fine and even jail time because they're so protective. She has 2 characteristics that make her different than other birds of prey. The first is instead of really strong eyesight like our hawk or an eagle, she has a very strong sense of smell. And the second thing that's cool about her is that they're social for a bird of prey and they can be seen feeding in large groups. So I would love for you guys to see her, but Leanne's supposed to be up here, so hold on. Leanne, where are you?
Well, I'm standing right next to you. I'm just invisible.
You gotta be kidding me, Leanne. You're not invisible. Where are you?
No, I am. I'm going to make her appear by magic on your glove.
Something better appear on my glove because there's already supposed to be a bird up here and I'm getting her. Oh my, holy cow!
That's not a cow. That's a vulture.
I know that, everybody. This is Latte, our black vulture. Now, Latte is a very, very sweet girl. And she would have said hello while she flew by, but vultures have no voice box, which means they don't even have a particular call. Now, what's something you guys notice about how this bird looks besides how absolutely beautiful she is? I will give you a hint. She's got a quality that grown men are very afraid of. She is completely bald. Well, vultures feed on carcasses or dead animals that they have to stick their heads inside in order to feed. So if Latte had feathers on her head, those would get really messy and they would be impossible for her to clean off. Now, if you thought that was gross, wait to hear what this bird does when she gets scared in the wild. Because a lot of times they get too fat and heavy after eating a big meal that they can't even fly away. So what she will do is she will throw up all over whatever the threat is. Unfortunately for me, I can tell you from experience, this is one of the worst smells you can possibly imagine, if not the worst. So it's really good at getting rid of things that she doesn't want around. But we all know better than to think that those guys do nothing good for us. Because vultures are kind of like Mother Nature's garbage disposal. By cleaning up the land of dead animals, she's helping limit the spread of disease. In a vulture's stomach, acid is so strong that Latte can eat something that's died from any disease known to man and not be affected at all. Everyone give a hand to Latte, the black vulture.
Now, if you guys thought Latte was magical, just wait until you meet our next guest. These guys live out in the desert and they've developed a lot of magical characteristics about them that have made them perfect living in such a harsh environment. This is his first show, so apparently he's going to be a little shy too, so we're going to be really quiet while he comes out. Alright, here he is. Everyone please welcome Tucson the Harris's Hawk. Now, like I said earlier, Harris's Hawks are found in the desert. Now, they have 3 magical characteristics that these guys have to make sure they're successful living in such a harsh environment. The first one is that these guys hunt cooperatively. This means that they'll hunt like a pack of wolves. Now, they are wild animals. They don't always do what we want to, but we'll just go ahead and let him be. Now, as they hunt with like a pack of wolves, what they'll do is they'll take turns chasing into something, and once it's caught, they'll actually share that prey item. Not Tucson. The other thing these guys do is they're actually what we like to call polyandrous, which means that one female will have 2 to 3 mates to make sure that her young survive. There we go. And the final characteristic is perhaps the neatest one to me, is these guys practice something called stacking. This is where one bird will stand on a cactus, and then another bird will come and stand on top of him, and another bird will come and stand on top of him. And pretty soon you have a tower of up to 7 birds on one cactus. So how about a big hand for Tucson, our magical Harris Hawk. Now, I know a lot of you have really enjoyed my magic show, especially my disappearing and reappearing opossum trip. However, there are some species throughout the world that are disappearing for real and not reappearing. So Ronald is happily on the road to tell you his story. Please welcome Bakari, the African black-footed penguin.
Penguins like Bakari are actually warm climate penguins, so you're never going to see these guys around snow or ice, which is why they're in that nice open-air exhibit. They prefer temperatures between 50 and 80 degrees. There are actually 17 species of penguin and only 4 live in Antarctica. So most are found south of the equator like the Galapagos Islands, Australia, and New Zealand. Now these guys were placed on the endangered species list in 2010 because their populations have actually dropped in half in the past 10 years. Bakari and his relatives face 2 really big threats in the wild. The first is there being oil spills, and the second is overfishing because we as penguins like to eat a lot of the same kinds of fish.
And as the human population continues to grow, it's our responsibility to make sure there's habitat and resources so these guys can share their magic for many more generations to come.
So if you go home and tell just one friend about your favorite animal you saw today, you're helping us and Bakari spread the message about conservation and the good that every animal on our planet does not only for us but for the environment.
Thank you so much for joining us for our magic show.
It's an animal show.
And please enjoy the rest of your time here at the Little Rock Zoo.